Hello and welcome guys to a new episode on SportPredictorFanatic. Today we're going to predict the Serie A, so let's get straight into it. But no, we're not. First going to talk about the transfers, then I'm going to do the ranking. Let's get straight into it. We're going to start with the champions, of course, Inter Milan. Inter Milan have actually bought Fratesi, who of course was already here on loan last season, but they now bought from Sassuolo. Augusto was also here already on loan from Monza, but now is bought. Taremi and Zielinski. They of course had some player leave, like Alexis Sanchez, Davy Klaassen, Cuadrado and Arnautovic. Then we head into AC Milan. AC Milan have bought Pavlovic from Salzburg, Emerson Royal from Tottenham, Morata from Atletico Madrid, and they also got rid, of course, of some players like De Ketelaere and Krunic and Giroud and Kjaer. Of course, some big players leaving there. Juventus have bought Douglas Ruiz and Thuram. From Nice, by the way, the Thuram from Nice. But they also had to let go of some players like Dienhuizen, Soule, Moiskin, Chesney, Alexandro, and Rabiot. So also some big players leaving there, I'm gonna be honest. And then we head into Atlanta. Atlanta bought Retegui, De Ketelaere, of course, Ketelaere was already there on loan. Godfrey, Zaniolo, he was also here already on loan. Zaniolo, sorry. Zaniolo is not bought, he is here on loan from Galatasaray. So yeah. But they also had to let some players go, like Okoli, he's going to Leicester. Miranchuk going to Atlanta. What? I don't know where Miranchuk is going. I put something wrong, I can tell you that. Zapata and Hateboer. Hateboer went to Rennes. Then we have Bologna. Bologna have bought Thijs Dallinga, Holm, Freuler. He was already here on loan, but has now been bought. Odgaard was already here on loan and now has been bought. And Miranda from Betis. They also had to let go some players, of course. They had to let go, of course, the biggest transfer there, I think, is Calafiori going to Arsenal, Zirkzee going to Man United, and Arnautovic going to Inter. Yeah, I think those are some freaking big moves there. I think it's not going... I don't think it's going their way with that, but that's my opinion. Then AS Roma, they have actually bought Dovbyk from Girona, Soule from Juventus, Lefebvre from Rennes, and Angelino from Leipzig, but he was of course already here last season on loan. They had to let go of Aouar, Belotti, Spinazzola, Renato Sanchez, who was here on loan, Dienhuizen, who was here on loan, Llorente, who was here on loan, Lukaku, who was here on loan, and Christensen and Asmoon also both on loan there. Then Lazio. Lazio have actually bought Guendouzi now. He was of course there already on loan. They bought Noslin and they bought Tavares. Of course, they haven't bought Tavares. Tavares is here on loan. But they also had to let go of some players with Louis Alberto, Felipe Anderson, Kamada and Immobile being the biggest ones. Then we have Fiorentina. Fiorentina have bought Moise Kean and David De Gea. He finally has a club back. Well deserved, of course. And Moise Kean, I think, okay striker. But they also had to let some players go. Milenkovic, Bonaventura, and some players that were here on loan but now have left are Maxime Lopez Belotti and Melo. Then we head into the club Torino. Torino have bought Zapata, of course, player from Atlanta, but and he was like here on loan. but he's now been bought. Coco from Las Palmas and Che Adams from Southampton. They of course also had to let go some players with Buongiorno and Ricardo Rodriguez being the main ones. Napoli have actually only bought Buongiorno, Marin and Spinazzola here. Not really much going on there, gonna be honest. And well, they had to let go some players with Ostigard, Zielinski, Zaniolo, and Den Donker. Of course, Den Donker is a player of Aston Villa, and he was here on a loan. Genoa have actually bought Vitinha. He was of course already here on loan, but has now been bought from Marseille. And Zaniolo, of course, they haven't bought him, but he is on a loan deal here at Genoa. But they also had like some players leave with Kevin Strootman, of course, Dutch legend. But no, main one is going to be Retegui, of course, going to Atlanta. Then Monza have actually bought Kyriakopoulos from Sassuolo, who was already here on loan last season. Maldini from AC Milan was already here on loan last season as well. And Sensi from Inter. They also had to let go of some players with Augusto going to Inter, Gregorio going to Juventus, Colpani going to Fiorentina, and Papu Gomez being the biggest ones there. Now we're going to the smaller teams, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't have much to say about them. Verona, no real players there. Lecce, no real players there. Cagliari, no real players there. Empoli, no real players there. Parma, no real players there. Venezia, no real players there. The only ones I want to talk about are going to be Udinese and Como. We're going to start with Udinese. Udinese have actually bought Luca. He was already here on loan last season, but now has been bought from Pisa. The other player that they bought was Ekkelenkamp, and they've got Alexis Sanchez for free. Of course, Alexis Sanchez leaving Inter Milan for free. They haven't really sold any names besides maybe Wallace, who went back to Brazil, but besides that, not really. But then we head into Como, of course, really interesting with Cesc Fabregas, I think, as their manager. They, of course, promoted now. I think they now promoted twice in a row, but I'm not 100% sure about that, but at least promoted last season, of course. But yeah, Como have actually bought like a lot of players with no names, with Belotti, of course, AS Roma, Alberto Moreno, of course, Villarreal, but also ex-Liverpool, Varane, of course, Man United, Pepe Reina, of course, Villarreal, but also ex-Liverpool. Wait, am I saying that? Yeah, Pepe Reina is... I may be wrong there. My football knowledge is letting me down today, but I've literally uploaded so many videos yesterday, I'm gone. But no, and they actually didn't sell any players with like a no name for me, so yeah, this is basically all the transfers. So let's get into the prediction part. Okay, so we're gonna predict the freaking thing now. We're gonna start with the champions, then we're going to go on to the top 5, then probably top 8, and then we're gonna do the relegation and we're gonna fill in the blanks basically. So yeah, let's actually start with the champions. I actually think that, I'm gonna be honest, where are they? They are here. Inter Milan are going to get the W again. I think they're gonna do pretty well. They've bought some alright players, have not sold the biggest players, of course some big players, but not the biggest. I think they're gonna do fine. Then at second, I'm actually gonna put a controversial one. I'm gonna put Atalanta there. I actually think they've done some really good business. I think they're really ready to make like the next step to fight actual for the title instead just for a Champions League spot. Yeah, I think they're going to do really well, and then right behind them is gonna be AC Milan. Then after them, I'm gonna place Juventus, of course, another big club. And then we're gonna put another big club, AS Roma. I predict this is gonna be like the Champions League teams. Of course, teams who did pretty well last season, but not not all the best, of course, but did pretty well. Then let's do this. Let's end it with like the European spots. I think. I think I'm gonna start with. I actually think Bologna. I actually think they did really well last season, of course, clinching fourth. But I think the transfers have not gone their way. Let's say like this. Of course, transfer period hasn't ended, but for now it's not seeming that well. I think they're not gonna do too well, and after them is gonna become a Napoli. I think they're gonna do better than last season, of course, where they became 11th. Um, but yeah, I think this is going to be fine. Then after Napoli, I actually think we're gonna go with Torino. Oh wait, sorry, I'm wrong. I've put something wrong. I'm forgetting Fiorentina. I actually, yeah, this may be a surprise to anyone, but I actually think Fiorentina is gonna do well. I hope so as well, because I really liked the club in the past. But the last few years haven't been the easiest, but I think they're gonna do well. I actually do think so. So yeah, we're gonna go with Fiorentina 7th, Napoli 8th. Then we're gonna go for the relegation battle. The relegation battle is gonna start off with one of the promovendors, which is gonna be Venezia. I actually think Venezia are gonna do really bad. I think they're gonna be dead last, no hope, basically that. And I think right before them is gonna end Palma, of course, the other promovendors. I think they haven't done enough in the transfers market as well, so that's basically why. Then I'm gonna put Empoli with them. They of course did okay last season, not the best, but I think Empoli are gonna go down this season. I think 18th is like the spot where they have to fight for relegation, but I still think it's a relegation spot, right? Then it's gonna be all over the place, but we're just gonna start with 9th. I always found like the midfield so hard, so we're just gonna put them in the order that I actually think, because I've actually prepared myself for this. Okay, Noah, Udinese, like this. Then I actually think Como might be surprised because they just promoted, of course, but I actually think they're gonna do well. After Como we have Verona. Then after Verona we have Cagliari. After Cagliari we have Monza, and I think Lecce are just gonna escape as well. Well, this is actually gonna be the end. I'm sorry I rushed through this, but it's hard to man the midfield, and especially about a league that you didn't watch the whole year through. But I think this is gonna be it. So I wanna thank you all for watching. Please have a good day, and I'll see you.